That's good. Yo, yo, yo! It is your girl Rose Gold, and you are tuned in to season 4. That's right, 4 of Heartbreak Hill podcast. Listen, I cannot tell you how grateful I am for the love, for the support that you all have been giving this podcast literally from day one. As some of you may not know or understand, that Heartbreak Hill podcast is completely supported by the listeners. Okay, so none of this is possible without the support from listeners like you, and we thank you here at Heartbreak Hill podcast from the bottom of our hearts. Okay, season 4, we coming in and we are talking about the challenging topics, but more importantly, we are breaking hearts to blow minds. Okay, that is the whole theme behind Heartbreak Hill podcast moving forward. We believe here that it is only through breaking our hearts that we can open our minds. And sometimes it is a painful process, but it is nevertheless a process that needs to be done eventually. Okay? So before we go ahead and jump right in, because I'm excited for the topic today. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm excited for the topic today because it's a topic that I want to use the word taboo, but I want to use the word challenging as well, because it's not something that a lot of people will agree with me on. But y'all already know how I do. I'm just here to tell the truth. I'm not here to persuade y'all or to, change anybody's mind about what they're doing. I'm just here bringing the news, bringing the message that God placed on my heart to give to you all. Now, before we go ahead and get started, we're going to go ahead and kick it off with Daily De Niro. If you remember from season 3, we're going to be starting all of our episodes with a little Daily De Niro, which is some information that I feel can help you in your daily lives, okay? Now, to kick off Daily De Niro, we're going to start with your pockets, okay? So these are some download-worthy apps that have came into play for the year 2020 and 21, and I thought that they were worth mentioning to you guys because they helped me. I used all of these apps before. I use some of them now, and they do help, okay? So the first one is Perch, Perch. This app is an app that builds credit through recurring subscriptions. So Netflix, Spotify, Hulu, things like that. If you have any of those accounts, okay, any sort of recurring subscription-based video streaming, I should say, if you download the app Perch, as you go ahead and pay those, you actually are getting points towards your credit report. Now, I have not yet been doing it long enough to figure out if it's just to Experian or if it's just to TransUnion. I'm not sure which credit report they report to, but nonetheless, they do report, and that is very important if you're looking to build your credit. Second one on the list is Yotta, Yotta, okay? This is a high-interest savings account, okay? For every $25 that you deposit, you get a ticket that is into weekly drawings, okay? They have every sort of things from headphones. They have plane tickets. They have monetary drawings that you can win, anything from 10 cents to $10 million, okay? But every time you put money into this app, or every time you transfer money as a savings account into the app, every $25 you get entered into the weekly drawing. It's really good. It's really worth it. I haven't won much as far as being drawn or selected, but hey, it's worth a try, and it's actually good to get something immediate for your savings account, okay? Check out Yotta. Next thing is an app called Front, Front. And these will all be in the description of this podcast episode, so don't worry if you don't have it written down. But this app, is investor friendly, okay? This app analyzes the stock market for you. Did you hear that? So what you would do is you would connect your brokerage account. If you use Cash App as your stock trading platform, if you have an account with Merrill Lynch, which is a big time investor company, you connect that account. And what they'll do is they'll analyze your stocks. They'll let you know kind of how this stock is doing, how it's projected to do in the future. And you get to chat with other investors around the world to see what they're doing, okay? Listen, I've learned as an investor myself, one of the best things that you can do for your investment profile is ask questions. Ask questions to other investors who have been doing it longer than you, who may have a bigger portfolio than you, but this app will help get you started, okay? Front. The last app that I want to go ahead and throw out for you guys to help them pockets is going to be called Bumped, okay? Bumped. And what you do is that you get fractions of companies every time you spend with them. So basically what you do is you link your credit card or debit card to the Bumped platform. It is an app, like I said, and you select your favorite companies. Okay, one of my favorite companies, I'm not gonna lie, is Amazon. I love them. They get all my money, um, so I'm sure that they love me too. But you connect that, and then every time you spend, you can either let your stocks grow or you can sell the stocks after they get bumped into your account. So essentially, when you spend with these companies that you love so much, you're actually buying some stock from them at the same exact time. Now, stuff like that is unheard of in our age, but it is definitely something that if you want to work harder and not, work smarter and not harder with your investments, bumped is definitely the way to go. Okay? Now, as we're done with the apps this fall, I want you guys to kind of focus on your skin routine, but also focus on your stress triggers, okay? There was a 2016 study that just was published. It is a study that was based in Korea, and it found that stress can be linked to eczema, okay? So I see, we got all these beauty products, all these different types of things that are being, we have all these different, skin routines that we use to try to cure our eczema or to try to basically make our eczema better if you have it. But this study found that there are proteins called cytokines and hormones called cortisol and epinephrine, and they cause inflammatory responses during stress. Notably, these are the same hormones that are triggered for those who have very bad eczema. So maybe try to do a refresh this fall and this winter. Instead of trying to focus directly on your skin, I want you guys to pay close attention to your stress levels if eczema is a problem for you, okay? Now, lastly, before I go ahead and jump right into the episode, I want you guys to take a look at our sponsored websites for this episode, rosegoldlenses.com. Okay, you can get candles, scented candles, sea moss gel, and right now they're having a sale for up to 50% off. Our second sponsor I'm going to call out is safeandchic.com. This is an organic and cruelty-free skin and hair product company, okay? If you click the link on rosegoldlenses.com, there's a link there that will bring you directly to the safeandchic.com website. Really great products. If you guys know, I'm not a makeup wearer. I love lipstick, but they have really good products, okay? So be sure to check them out. If you go ahead and you click the link on rosegoldlenses.com, you actually will get free shipping on your first item, okay? So you guys make sure you go ahead and do that. I cannot let Daily De Niro be over without sharing to you guys what I'm reading this month, okay? So we're introducing a new thing for the podcast, which is every month. So I'm going to be releasing episodes on a weekly basis now. But every month, I'm going to come to you guys with a book that I am enjoying. And for the month of October, the book that I am enjoying is called The Power of Positive Thinking. And it is by Norman Vincent Peale. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, brother. But it is an excellent book, okay? It is the power of positive thinking and renewing your mind. But it's based on Christian principles. And I tell you guys all the time, you do not have to be a Christian to apply Christian principles to your life. They'll work better and you'll understand them more if you are a Christian. But the principles in this book literally can apply to anybody. Don't shy away from literary material just because it's Bible-based. You can still learn. Trust me. This is an excellent book. I'm about maybe 3/4 of the way finished. It's roughly over 200 pages, but it's an excellent book. Every time I read it, I just gather something about myself and renewing my mind. Literally, that's what's happening every time I open up this book. So go ahead and check that book out. I will put a link, maybe an Amazon link in the description so that you guys can go ahead and order it or that you can read it online and purchase it online, whatever it is you like to do. Okay? Now, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into today's topic. All right. If you are watching us and if you're listening to us and watching us, we are live, heartbreakhillpodcast.com. Otherwise, you can catch us on Instagram right now as well as Facebook Live. Otherwise, if you're not catching us live, all of these episodes will be available on our website, heartbreakhillpodcast.com. Also, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, iTunes, anywhere that you get your podcast, we are going to be there. You'll be able to hear it. So don't worry if you're not catching us live. Now, the episode for today is called The Lies of Polygamy. Okay? The Lies of Polygamy. All right? Now, when I say the lies of polygamy, that is exactly what I mean. And I say lie because everybody who talks about polygamy nowadays, even if you see it on social media, if you're on Twitter or Instagram or anything like that, you get painted this picture that polygamy is this arrangement where there are usually, and it could be a lot of different ways, but usually when people are talking about polygamy in our Western society in the U.S., they are talking about having more than one wife and one husband under the same household. And the real end, or the picture that is painted on social media, or the picture that is painted in the media regardless, is that if you can have two women that get along and you guys can combine your resources together, and as long as the man is playing his role and he's providing and he's making sure that everybody is taken care of, that it will work. And that polygamy is the answer to cheating, and that it is the answer to infidelity, and that it is the answer to a stronger, faster society, and that it will somehow bring our nation to a better place. And I'm here to tell you guys that that is an absolute lie. Okay? I'm going to look in each camera. I'm looking at about 3 cameras right now, and I want to look into all of them and let you guys know that that is an utterly and complete lie. Okay? And I'm going to break it down. Y'all know I don't just like saying things without backing it up. So here it is, okay? Real polygamy, even if you look in the Bible, which is my context for most of the, I won't say most, the Bible is literally my tiebreaker for things that I am unsure or I'm confused about. And the reason why the Bible is my tiebreaker, or it is my end all be on decision for things that I'm confused about, is because the Bible never changes. Okay, so before I was born, I'm 27 years ago. And when my mom, who's 49, even before she was born, the Bible has been the exact same. Don't let people trick you and fool you into thinking otherwise, okay? Now, there are different versions. The Bible has been modernized in terms of language, okay? But the content has never changed. From the beginning of time, it has never changed. So when I'm confused about something, or I want to know something, or if I want to know the history of something, okay, the Bible is my source of end all be all, okay? And I point this out to you guys because there was a point in time in the Bible, especially if you read the Old Testament, where polygamy was a good idea. There was a point in time where our society needed polygamy in order to function on a new age level, okay? So what that means is that there was a point in time where a man was allowed to have more than one wife for the economic and familial structure of kingdoms, okay? There was a point in time where one man could have maybe 50 or maybe even 100 wives. I think King Solomon had over 100 different wives. If you look at King David, all of these great men of God, okay, there was at one point where multiple wives was the thing to do. And it was for multiple reasons back then. I kind of already hinted toward them, economy-wise, financially, even the start of civilization. There were times where multiple wives was the way to go. Okay, as we switch over into the New Testament and into the new doctrine, okay, we get new ideas about what marriage is, and we get new ideas for the roles of the husband and wives inside of a marriage. So that's the first lie that people are being told about polygamy, okay? Real, true polygamy, okay, requires marriage. And people can argue and say that, we're married once we have sex. The Bible does not say that, okay? You are not married once you have sex. You are married when you have presented that certificate before 2 witnesses and a judge, okay? Now, if you don't live in the United States, maybe that's something different for where you are. But here in the 50 states of the United States of America, no marriage is real unless it is put on paper. Please understand that, okay? So right away, we can say, and we know that the stuff that a lot of social media people are talking about, and a lot of the memes that you see referring to polygamy, it's not real polygamy. It's called an extended threesome or foursome or whatever you want to call it, because until it's on paper, it's not real. And this is marriage that I'm talking about here, okay? Please understand that. If you get a job and they don't have a job offer for you and they just tell you that you're working for them, that's not a real job. And the same goes for marriage. So I first just want to really make that point clear. Real, true polygamy includes marriage. Marriage by certificate and recognition by the court and judicial system, okay? That's first and foremost. Here in the United States, polygamy is illegal. People do it. I know people, and especially when you go to places that, have different cults and things like that in the U.S., they are married to more than one wife. But I'm telling you what, if you get caught of bigotry in the United States, you go right to the federal penitentiary, okay? And bigotry is just a term for a man that has more than one wife, okay? And in saying that, I want to go ahead and explain that polygamy can be one man and many wives. It can also be, when a man dies and then the brother marries his wife, things like that. That's also another form of polygamy. Sometimes when you get to more remote areas of civilization, you have a wife that has more than one husband. These are all different forms of polygamy. Nonetheless, okay, it is not real polygamy if you are not married. Please understand that, okay? Now, the reason why I wanted to kind of use the Bible for a basis is because when you go into the new covenant, okay, and that's the New Testament, when Christ came and died for our sins, a lot of people, are confused about the fact that says that, Jesus Christ is a man. How can you praise a man? No. It was a man's body that was used. Don't ever get that confused or mixed up. You can DM me or write me or email me and we could talk more about this. But you got to get your mind out of the man. The man was the body. That's it. God came down in human form so that he can be able to relate to us in human form. Okay? So when people say, Christians, they praise a man instead of God, that's not true. Okay? Christians believe in one God that comes in three different forms. The Father, the Son, who was Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, which is what is here with us today. Some people may call that their conscience, okay? Now, when Christ came and he died for our sins, he gave commands for marriage, okay? Mind you, polygamy from the very beginning of time was based on marriage. It wasn't based on anything else. There may have been other gains and other motives, like I mentioned, financial gains and resources being under one roof. Those are all of the things that may have been the outcome. But the basis for real polygamy has always been marriage. When that new covenant came, okay, there were very specific roles that a husband and wife have to play in order for a marriage to work. Okay, very specific roles. And I'm telling you, friends, that it is impossible. Impossible. And I don't even like that word because I don't really feel like anything is impossible. But I'm telling you right now, it is impossible to give your utmost in a relationship that has more than one person. Somebody will always be neglected. Do you understand what I'm saying by that? Even when you go to places, I have a friend in Ghana, and she's married to a Nigerian man, and there are certain places in Nigeria that believe in polygamy still. They still practice it. And, a lot of the laws over there is that, you can have more than one wife as long as you can take care of them. Islam is also like that. I was, a lot of you, just a quick backstory. I practiced I practiced Islam for over a year. Okay. And the Quran is very clear. You can have more than one wife as long as you can take care of them all. Okay. But here's the problem. When you have a man and he is planting his seeds in more than one woman, I'm talking about sex and children now. When you have a man that is doing that, somebody always gets neglected. You cannot be the familial father figure, head of a household to more than one household. It is impossible to do. You cannot come to my house and lay down the law and give me money and give me discipline, and then the next day go to somebody else's house, because guess what? Somebody will always be left behind. So even if you are a Superman and you got stamina and you can screw every woman that you consider to be your wife and you can make children and you have all of the money, you will still be unable to fulfill your rightful head of the household role because you cannot be more than one place at a time. Another thing that I want you guys to know, any man, please listen with both ears when I say what I'm about to say, because I know it's going to ruffle some feathers. Any man that is entertaining or that is involved with more than one woman eventually becomes one. And I'm not talking in terms of homosexuality. I'm talking in terms of his mannerisms, the way that he thinks, the way that he behaves, the way that his emotions are carried. A man is not designed. People have this thing, it is not natural to be with one woman. Yes, it is. It takes spiritual restraint to be with one woman. I can definitely agree with that. And that's why I encourage people who want to practice being with one person. You should definitely check into Jesus Christ first, because that's the only religion that will give you the restraints that you need to be able to handle the patience in the time of one woman. You understand what I'm saying? But the overflow is that a man is under the mercy and the influence of the woman in his life when he really loves her. A woman has a lot of influence in a man's life. And when you have a man that wants to have multiple women, he can't help it. If you don't believe me, I want you to look at when pimping was in its most thriving point in the 60s and 70s. Okay? You can argue with me all of you want that, the bell bottoms and the high heels and the button ups and the crimps and the curls and all of that was part of the fashion. But even now today, when you have a man that considers himself to be a P, he's feminine in his nature. And that is because the feminine energy is so divine that it has the power to change things. Do you understand what I'm saying? Women possess a divine feminine energy, which is that whatever we are loved by, okay, whatever we are cared for by, whatever space that we occupy for a long time, we have influence over it. Okay. So a man that is thinking about practicing polygamy, you have to know that there's a part of him that is feminine in his nature. Again, I'm not talking in terms of homosexuality. I'm talking about in terms of femininity. Fellas, if you're listening to me, look at some of your friends who are dealing with multiple women. Just think about them. You can't tell me that there are not feminine ways about him. Women, if you have dealt with a man and he's dealt with multiple women before, and he's dealing with multiple women while he's dealing with you, he's feminine in his nature, ain't he? Just look at him. Just really pay attention to him. There's feminine things about him. Okay? And that is because the way that you are designed, that type of overload of feminine energy conquers you. It conquers your masculinity. So you're not even operating, when you're dealing with more than one woman in a polygamous setting, you're not even able to operate at your full manhood potential. Why? Because that masculine energy is being drowned out. Another point I want to hit on is that people say, this is specifically from one of the teachings that I learned when I was practicing Islam, that I learned that is not true. Okay? People will say that the reason why polygamy is needed is because there are more women in the world than men. That is not true. Please do your research. And this is not, I don't want to come at y'all like, because I'm in school and I know all of it. You can Google this information. There are certain areas of the world where women outweigh the men. That is very true. But on a worldly basis, the ratio is almost 1-to-1. I think it's like 1.3 or something like that. It's almost 1-to-1. So don't let people trick your mind with fake statistics about what's going on in the world if you have not checked them out yourself. Okay? Women, there are not more women in the world than men on a whole basis. Now, like I said, there are some areas, there are certain countries, and there are certain cities where the women do outweigh the men. Okay? But even in those areas, polygamy is not the answer. Okay? Now we're going to switch it a little bit and go to the female side. Any woman that allows you to have polygamy, going on, does not love you. And I know that could be a hard pill to swallow for a lot of men out there, because you say, well, if she loves me because, she's invited someone else to our bedroom, she wants to spice me up, she wants to keep me happy. No, she doesn't. That's not what that's for. When a woman is okay with another woman sharing a household with her, when she is okay with another woman sharing a bedroom with her, she has already checked out mentally. It's subconscious, so maybe she doesn't know that that's what this is, okay? But no woman in their right mind, in their true divine energy, is going to allow another woman to come in there and be cooking with her pots and spraying her perfume. Now, you can say that that's jealousy. You can say that, that you're just not conscious enough. Nah. Don't argue with me. Argue with God, because that's what the words say. The words say that the woman is created in such a way, in such a profound way, that only she can be the queen of her household. When you look at different places and different kingdoms and different cities of the world, there's not more than one queen to no castle. No castle that has succeeded in reign or that has succeeded in rulership has had more than one queen. Do you know why that is? It's because women are meant to operate on a basis of love. Do you understand what I mean by that? Women are designed to operate on love. Now, if you want to know what love is, it's an action word. Read Corinthians chapter 13. That tells you exactly what love is because it's a verb. Women operate on that. A woman can't operate at her full function in a relationship, I'm saying, in a marriage, without being loved. And if you read that chapter of the Bible, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, it is impossible to do that to more than one woman. Do you know how difficult it is to please one woman? Do you know how difficult it is? And I'm a woman saying this. Do you know how difficult it is to love more than one woman? To love one woman alone. It's very difficult. Because I'm gonna tell you what we women do. Once you do one thing that we like, so I might tell my husband, I might say, honey, I like it. You upset me when you talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that. So he'll stop talking to me like that. And then I'll get an idea. Well, honey, I don't like when you dress like that. Can you dress a little different? And he'll dress different. Women are designed that way. So when guys write me, there's men that have started to write me. Thank you, fellas. A shout out to you guys, men who have been more interactive with me. There are men and they write me and they say, I'm going to leave this woman because she's too controlling. Every time I do one thing, she wants me to do another. Trust, all women are like that to some degree. It may not be that extreme, but all women are hard to please. That's why it's not your job to please a woman. You do what that Bible say when it comes to your wife, and you love her. And in doing so, you please God and you let her operate. And of course, you do the things that she likes. If you love her, you want to make sure that she's pleased. So I'm not saying don't please her, but it's impossible. I'm literally telling you guys, it is impossible to please more than one woman at a time. It just is. It's impossible to love more than one woman at a time. If a man ever tells you that he's in love with two women, he's lying. He's lying. He's confused about what he's talking about. He maybe lusts one and love the other. But real love, you can't do that to more than one person. Okay? And I say this because a lot of times when a woman introduces that sort of thing to a marriage or to a relationship, she's trying to keep you. She's trying to keep your attention. She's trying to keep what you guys have presented to the public. But it's not real love, guys. Please understand that. Okay? And there's this thing, and you guys may wonder why I keep reducing polygamy to sex. And that's because real true polygamy requires you to be married, like I said earlier. A lot of people practicing polygamy today are not married. So it's not real polygamy, guys. It's an extended threesome or foursome, or however many people that you have involved. Please hear what I'm saying to you. And by the way, let me just say this, and you can look this up. This is real science. This is not me guessing or just talking out the side of my head, okay? When you introduce another partner into your bedroom, and this doesn't matter if you're a heterosexual, if you're a homosexual, if you're, whatever it is that you like, when you bring a third party into your bedroom, or into your living situation, or into your marriage, or you bring it into, whatever it is, the situation that you got going on when it's just two and you make it three, your satisfaction with your partner goes down. It doesn't go up. See, the trick, and this is why I say the lies of polygamy, the trick is to think that if you bring another person into the mix, that it will be easier, that it will be more fun, that it will spice things up. No. What happens is that your satisfaction with the person that was already there goes down. Do you understand me? Listen, if you know people that are in polygamous relationships and they're telling you that it's all fine, they are lying to you. It starts off fine because, the girl has another girl in the house that she can talk to and relate to. Or maybe if they don't live together, she has another girl. Would you believe what he did today? Or maybe you should try this. You can bounce ideas off each other and it seems like it works. But friends, I am telling you, a woman that is really operating in her divine energy and her God-given rights and talent would never, ever do that. So I'm encouraging right now, if you are in a polygamous situation or relationship, get out of it. If you are married and you've been inviting people into your bedroom to spice things up, stop it, please. Because you're breaking God's heart. And not only are you breaking God's heart, you're breaking your marriage down. It's going down, y'all. You can't see it. You don't know it. You don't feel it, but it's going down. Your satisfaction with your partner is going down. Your idea about who they are and what you fell in love with is going down. Please understand that. And I want to keep reiterating that because the nature of a polygamous relationship is that, it works as long as you're not jealous. Or it works as long as, let me tell you something, we are all jealous for the one that we love. Do you understand that? We are jealous for the one that we love, not in terms of that crazy stuff, toxic. I don't know, not that. That's not real love. I'm talking about as in every woman wants to be number one in their partner's life. And if you have introduced a second person, you are already headed for divorce court. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if it's been 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you guys, it does not work. Christ has gave us specific instructions. Read the book of Ephesians, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You have specific instructions on how you are to operate inside that type of covenant, and polygamy just ain't it. There was a point in time where it did work out as far as it was never peaceful. Sarah can tell you that if you read the Old Testament. It never worked out as far as everybody being satisfied because you can't satisfy more than one person at a time. But there was a time where it was acceptable in society when we were not developed. But as we developed and we got into the industrial age, we don't need that type of setup anymore. So if you're doing it right now today, it's not because you need to do it. It is simply because you have been tricked and you have been bought into a lie that somehow polygamy is going to make the relationship last, or that somehow your resources are going to flourish, or that somehow you guys will be a powerful throuple. It will never work. Please hear me when I'm telling you. This is a warning. It's not coming from me. It's coming from God. You guys, please, 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 please get out of that situation. Okay? Now, I want to specifically call out a few things. If you are a young lady or a young man and you have been invited into a married couple's home, I need you to stop what you're doing right now and fall on your knees and repent. Because what they don't tell you about joining a marriage bed, they say that the Bible says that the marriage bed is undefiled. But then there's also laws against adultery. Adultery is when you are engaging in sexual acts with someone outside. You're married and you're engaging with sexual acts. So even if I'm a wife and I have a husband and I invite somebody to our bed and my husband is cool with it, it's still adultery. And I'm going to tell y'all something. There is a curse that follows people who sleep with married individuals. Please understand me. Please believe me. I love you guys. I will not lie to you. There is a curse that follows a man or a woman who enters into a marriage, whether by invitation or by deception. When you sleep with somebody that is married, don't get me wrong, the married person suffers too. I'm not knocking that. But I want to specifically talk to people who have been invited into that marriage bed, or who have been invited into, there's a curse that follows you. Do you hear what I'm saying? It may be your health. It may be your finances. It may be your relationships. All of a sudden now you can't find them. There is a curse that follows you when you get in God's business. Now, God is going to deal with that married couple or that married man or that married woman that slept with you or that invited you. God is going to deal with them. But if you as a person have entered a marriage bed before, I need you to fall on your face and I need you to say, God, please forgive me for what I've done. And he will forgive you. And that curse will be lifted off of you. But I've seen, you guys, I'm not guessing. Okay, yes, I read my Bible and things like that. I do follow Christianity. Don't get me wrong. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ through and through. It's the only thing that has kept me. But I've seen this curse play out with my own eyes. Even women who commit adultery, sleep with somebody else's husband and think they're going to go off and get married and stuff like that. There's a curse that follows them inside of their new marriage. I've seen it with my own eyes. Don't do it. And if you have done it, it's okay. You can fall to your face. You can fall on your knees before the Father and tell him that you are sorry and to forgive you for those sins. But stop doing it right now. Get that curse up off of you. Shake that off. Shake that off your shoulders. Because it's a serious thing. It is a very serious thing. Okay? Now, there are certain areas in the world. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up because I'm over my 30 minutes that I've paid for or that you guys have helped me pay for. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But there are certain places in the world, and I just want to leave you with this thought. Okay? There are certain places in the world that still practice polygamy. They still believe that you can have more than one wife. I want you to look at those countries. Look at those countries in the world. A lot of them are, in different places. I don't like when people just talk about Africa when it comes to polygamy, because that's not the only nation that practices it. Look into the nations of the world that still practice polygamy. Their economic structure is failing. Their children are being brutalized. Okay, they're working. Their school systems are down. Their infrastructure is down. Their natural resources are being stolen right from up under them. Do you know why that is? Do you know why that is? That nations who still practice polygamy cannot elevate? It's because a nation that does not honor the woman, because that's what you're doing when you have more than one woman in a setting and you're treating them like livestock and cattle, because that's what it is when you have a collection of women that you have access to like that sexually, and you have access to their finances and all of that stuff. You're treating them like cattle. Any nation, okay, that allows polygamy, any nation that does not honor the woman, does not honor the child, and therefore does not honor their future. Do your research and see what I'm saying and call me a liar. Do your research on the nations that practice polygamy. See how they treat their children. See how they treat their women. See what laws they have in place. See how their economy is. See what their infrastructure in school and their corrupt political system is. And you'll see what I mean to be true. Listen here, don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger. You could have been anywhere in the world today, but you decided to be here with me. I will be coming to you guys next Wednesday, 6 p.m. sharp, live. We're discussing topics just like this. We are breaking hearts to blow minds, and that is what we came to do here at Heartbreak Hill Podcast. Listen, do not be shy. Go ahead, give us a follow. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on YouTube, Instagram. We are anywhere that podcasts are being heard, okay? We are a big deal now, y'all. We are a big deal by the grace of God. So make sure you follow us. Make sure you tune in with us. Heartbreak Hill Podcast on all platforms. Go ahead and send me an email if you want to talk about something on the show, or you want to tell your story on the show. Go over to our website and hit that button, heartbreakhillpodcast.com, okay? Listen, I love you guys. There's nothing that you can do about it, and you be blessed in the Lord. One. That was great, guys.